Oh, baby, what a Wednesday, a Warriors Wednesday. Brought to you by Freedman's Appliance, a trusted name in the Bay Area since 1922. Visit freedmansappliance.com today. Also, 95.7 The Game, shop.com. Alex in Atlanta just bought a Money Time sweatshirt. How about that? Money Time! You can get yours right now at 95.7 The Game, shop.com. And you got the Purdy shirts as well. You got the Purdy shirts.
And we got Shawn.
And we got
his
Shawn
father.
Purdy. I mean, Brock Purdy could do no wrong. So I wonder what Father Purdy's doing. Mr. Purdy, Shawn Purdy on the morning roast right now as his son has been absolutely balling in the last 5 games. Of course, came in the Miami game to replace Jimmy Garoppolo. And all he's done since then is throw 10 touchdown passes and only 3 interceptions, throw for over 1,000 yards. Brock Purdy has the Niners humming right now as the number 2 seed in the NFC. Shawn, good morning. Welcome to the roast. Joe Zaskin, the Butcher, and Bonte Hill. How you doing today, sir?
Good. Good morning to you guys. Thanks for having me on.
No, I'm not going to lie to you, Shawn. After the last preseason game, I kind of went off about your son saying, man, if Brock Purdy's playing for the 49ers, this is going to be a lost season. I said that. I'll admit it. I can't duck from it. And so I'm going to say right now, here on January 4th, 2023, I did not expect to be talking to you on the radio show after your son is basically taking his league and his region by storm. And December 4th, I want to go back to a story that you brought up. You were at a swap meet in Mesa, Arizona on a Sunday afternoon. You're running your company, fantastic pools and spas, and a booth across from you had a TV on with World Cup matches in the middle of the day. And after 2 p.m., the World Cup ended. And, of course, Miami and San Francisco hit the screen. You made your way over to the man at the booth after the game was already in progress. The man asked you something about the game, and you explained, hey, my son's a quarterback for the 49ers. He's number 13. And then at that time, you showed the TV set, and at that moment, you realized that your son was in the football game. How surreal was that to see that all of a sudden you're talking about him, and he's coming in against Miami Dolphins, leading the Niners to a big win?
Well, it's a neighbor that works out there, and he knows the kids. He's seen them all growing up and coming out at my work, and I thought it would be cool for him, because our excitement is just seeing Brock on the sideline. So I was like, hey, you might see Brock on TV. So we turned it on, and I'm like, hey, there he is right there. And he's like, why is he looking at that tablet? And I go, well, he's just, he goes over the plays with the quarterbacks in between. And I go, oh, my gosh. And I saw Jimmy drive by, and I said, Dave, I think Brock's going in, man. And, my hands got sweaty, and I was like, oh, man. And so it all just unfolded right there, and it was very surreal. I couldn't believe it.
Shawn, we hear from a lot of parents, every industry, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, music, whether it's acting. I knew that my son was destined or daughter to be something from day one. Honestly, did you think your son was going to have an opportunity to play in the NFL? Like, just forget being the starting quarterback for the Niners, leading them to the top spot. Like, just play in the NFL.
Well, I know that Brock was never going to give up, regardless of the things that, people have said. And, you're not big enough, you're too small or whatever. And I knew that Brock was going to give it his all. And, he just, he's got his faith in God. And he has always had his faith in himself. And, I just always tell the kids, give it your all, and you'll sleep well the rest of your life with no regrets. And that's just all we were doing. We never put the cart before the horse, and just, be ready. That's our family motto, just be ready. And so I know that all of those things Brock would do and give himself the best chance he could.
So I know, just doing my studying on you guys as a family and him, my cousin lives down in that area, and he says this is one of the best high school football players to ever come out of that region, and I know that you played at the U, and you got drafted into the bigs and things like that. And so did Brock play other sports growing up, or was it always just football?
No, he played baseball, and he was a really good baseball player. He was a shortstop, and he was a pitcher, and he loved it, but just had a passion for football. He used to sit on that coffee table, and he'd have that football under his arm and just saying, just wanting to be in that TV, and just would always say, I'm going to do that one day. And I believed him, So he just loves he's always loved what he's done in in football, and it's just surreal for us to see it unfold right before us, man.
We're talking to Shawn Purdy, the father of Brock Purdy, who's taken this league by storm with the 49ers as they are on a 9-game winning streak. Of course, Brock replaced Jimmy during the Miami Dolphins game, and they have not looked back since then, clinching the NFC West division title for the second time in 4 years. Shawn, what was he like as a kid? Was he a guy who did his chores? Did he play video games? Did he do his homework on time?
Books.
Oh, yeah. Who was Brock Purdy as a kid?
Well, he's what you see. I mean, he was a serious kid. But, when he gets comfortable with people he knows, he's a real funny kid and fun to be around. And he just never, even when he was younger, he doesn't seek out attention. And, we would always tell teachers in school, hey, look, man, if this kid says he didn't do this or whatever, he's not lying. He never liked to get to be in trouble or accused of anything, so he's just always been by the book. And so, we've been blessed to have a child like that. He's been a good boy since he was little, and he's always been an old soul. So
we like old souls around here.
Yeah, he's an old soul is what we would say.
So I'm looking, we've done research, obviously, on Brock Purdy since he's become the quarterback of the 49ers. And I did not know this because I know he was at Iowa State for as long as he was and helping Iowa State win some football games. I did not know Florida State was recruiting him. And why did he spurn? Because I'm a big-time Florida State fan. Why did he spurn the Seminoles? Because it felt like if he went to Florida State, bigger profile than Iowa State, maybe he gets drafted higher in the NFL draft. What was the story there, Shawn?
Well, he was never offered Florida State. His brother was. Okay. That's where Chubba went, his younger brother. So his offers were Alabama, Texas A&M, and UCF, and several others that came in late. Iowa State, once again, I told you, Brock's an old soul. He thinks differently. And the high school that he went to has really never done anything. And his sister was going there. It was, out of boundaries. And so, I just said, son, you sure you want to go there? Because where you're supposed to go, they went to state the last 2 years. And he goes, no. He goes, that's fine, Dad. He says, we'll go there and turn it around. I'm like, all right, dude, whatever. and that's exactly, what he did. And so Iowa State was the same way. Matt Campbell and him are two peas in a pod. And the way that he recruited Brock is a people person. And he could tell how an authentic coach was. And he got on board with Coach Campbell right from the first phone call. He hit mute and he says, Dad, this is the guy. And I said, okay. And so he wanted to go to Iowa State and create something new. And because he likes to look back, like when I mow my grass, I like to look back and go, wow, look what I just did. And so that's how he felt about Iowa State, is he liked that challenge and he loved the people that were there.
It seems that you guys are just so in lockstep in terms of your outlook on life. And I look at Brock and I see this photo that's been circulating across the internet. It's you holding him up as a kid next to a Dan Marino photo. So were you a Dolphin fan growing up? Take me back to the beginning of that, because him coming in and playing against the Dolphins, I mean, that feels like a cosmic connection. I believe in God. So, I feel like there's something spiritual there.
Well, yes, I'm a diehard Dolphin fan. And the ironic thing is when I played at Miami, Brian Griese's dad used to do radio to just stay in tune, for the upcoming college football season. So he did all our games. And it was such an honor for me to have his dad do that. And but anyways, just a diehard Dolphin fan. And so when I was younger, I used to keep all of I don't know if anybody remembers what a newspaper is. Every Monday, I'd get all Dan Marino's stats and all the pictures and articles and this and that, and that was just my guy, man. And so the day Brock was born, Actually, the Dolphins were playing the Jets, and they lost. But he sat there in the chair with me, and I'm like, hey, this is our team. And, and so he always wore number 13, Dan Marino's number, and so on. And he'd watch the videos and so on. And so not long ago, I said, hey, how many home games you guys got left? And he's like, oh, I think 5. And I said, who we play at home? And he goes, we got the Saints, the Dolphins. I was like, oh, dude. I said, you're going in that game. I go, that's just the way life works.
Wow.
And, just joking.
Yeah, no doubt.
If you're going to go in, it'll probably be the Dolphins. And then sure enough, man, that's how it unfolded. And Dan Marino was at the stadium, and it was just, you just pinch yourself.
That is incredible. Shawn Purdy here on the Morning Roast on 85.7.
My jaw's dropped.
Yeah, no, I mean, wearing the Dan Marino thing, wearing number 13, and just being a diehard Dolphins fan, he comes in, he throws those touchdowns. And being in that stadium when they're chanting Purdy, because we've gone, Shasky and I have been lifelong Niner fans, and I don't recall, there were some Bosa chants in 2019, but the Purdy chants during Tampa Bay, I was getting goosebumps in that stadium. I can't imagine what it was like for you and your family watching Brock ball out against Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback possibly of all time, and Levi Stadium is chanting Purdy. What went through your mind when that happened?
Well, first of all, it's an honor, to, even hear somebody say your name in that fashion. And so at first I was like, man, are they chanting his name? And then when it just got louder and louder, I couldn't believe it. And it was. They did it again in Vegas, and it was like, my son looked at me and was like, "Dad, you all right?" And I just, you'll never get used to that, and it's just an honor to hear somebody yell his name out like that. So it was amazing, man.
I want to go back to the draft process. The whole thing, Mr. Irrelevant, you're probably kind of sick of it at some level, and you probably thought he should have been drafted higher. I mean, Tom Brady's dad was around these parts 25 years ago, give or take, and he was begging teams to take his son earlier, and he kept coming out on TV locally like, hey, he's going to show everybody. He's going to show everybody. Take me back to the draft process. Was it frustrating and hard for you to sit there and watch other guys go ahead of him?
Not at all. Because just through the college recruiting process, I just knew that the draft was going to be the same way. It's just, I knew that was going to have to prove yourself and so on. And so I just wanted him to have an opportunity. And so, when he got, drafted the last pick, we all went crazy. That was authentic because we're just like, all right, we got a chance. It was like, the door was getting ready to close and stuck your foot out real quick to stop the door, and you got in there, So, I just felt that, this is the journey for Brock, and we embrace it because it helps build your character. And so, the draft day was not hard for any of us. It was just, friends and such, yes. But I just knew that this is the journey marked out for Brock, and just hopefully he'll get a chance, and he did.
Well, and then he gets drafted to the 49ers, and they give Sudfeld a $2 million deal to be the backup. We think that, hey, that's probably guaranteed money. He's going to have that spot. We think Trey Lance is going to be the guy, and, they moved heaven and earth to go get him. We had no idea Jimmy Garoppolo was going to stay around. I mean, he comes to this situation, this quarterback thing. I mean, this is one of the oddest things ever. We've seen Montana and Young, and this feels even crazier than that to a degree. Did you guys, how do you prepare for something like that? Do you think you being a former athlete kind of helped him get ready every single day, or was he just focused on himself?
Brock just takes everything serious at hand, whether it was classwork or whatever. He's always early. As his strength coach did a place that he worked out here says, he's the only guy that is waiting there on the tailgate of his truck for me to unlock the door in the morning, and so that's just, how he's always been. We were just excited, and so was he, knowing to come to such a historical place as the Niners and the coaching staff that they have. If anything, wow, man, let's just go somewhere and learn. And, that's that was step one, is just go learn. If you're going to be on a team, boy, this is what a blessing to be on this one. And that's all he did was just, get here and learn and just try to get yourself ready.
Shawn Purdy here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game, father of Brock Purdy, of course, who's taking the league by storm. Shawn, going back to that draft process, leading up to the NFL draft where he is the last pick of the draft, did you have any inkling that the Niners were interested? When did the Niners first come into the picture for Brock Purdy?
There were several teams that were poking around and so on, and I guess he had conversations with them at some point that, hey, we like you, we like your experience and so on, but you don't know how real that is,
right? And
during the day they'd let them know that if we have a chance, we're gonna try to get you, and that was that. And so, stuff kept unfolding and got right down to the end. And we're like, maybe it's free agency. And, boom, here comes the Niners. I knew it, but, we didn't say anything to my wife and sister and so on. And so, but he would go into our room, and he would talk to this team and that team. And then so on that one, he came out and we're like, well, he's like, nah, free agent talk. And we're like, oh, man. And so when they announced it and he kept a good, poker face, we were all so surprised and thankful and honored. So it was pretty cool how it unfolded.
How many times did you see that Dolphins logo during the draft? Say, "Come on, Miami! Come on, Miami! Let's go! I'm ready to go to South Beach."
Yeah, we were like, man, if that happens, that's going to be crazy. But we just know, I know because of baseball, that you just want to get on a team, make that your team, and. Like when, I played in Miami and my younger one went to Florida State and people are like, how do you do that? And it's like, hey, that's where my son is. And so I'm wearing the gear. So, it was whoever he went, that's what we're going to embrace. So.
All right, give me some dirt about his childhood. Like, when was the time he stole the family car and went joyriding? Give me something fun or goofy that he did as a kid.
Guy doesn't sound like he's that guy.
Every kid's got a
did
little.
Did he sneak out the house for a house party or something?
Yeah.
No, he's very private, so I'm not unleashing any dirt on him when he was little. I just know that he was just a little negotiator.
Oh.
As far as when it came time for discipline or whatever. So we always thought, if you're going to be a football player, you'll be a lawyer.
So now I got to ask you about the other dads in the room because we have John Bosa on a lot. All right, Nick's father. Have you met him, and has he tried to size you up yet?
Well, we met. We spent more time with his mom on the Tampa Bay game, that morning. And, his dad, I met after the game, shook his hand, and Nick came out, gave us a hug. And that's the extent that we've had with them. But in that time with Nick's mom, she's a pistol, man. And I was like, well, I think, just not meeting his dad, that this is where this guy gets his tenacity from, because his mom was a riot, man. She was something else, man. She was very supportive of us. When Brock came out of the tunnel and Mom and I lost it, and it was, helping us keep it together. And so, that family really is close-knit, and, we love that about them.
What was your first impressions of Kyle Shanahan?
Oh, good question.
Well, just from, hearing Brock talk about their meetings and how they do things and what he expects. Once again, being a family of faith, we're like, man, God put him right with the right guy. and he is just brilliant. And when I'm watching the game, as a dad, you're always nervous, and for the first time in my life, watching Brock play, I was just like, well, he's got a guy that's going to call the right plays. And, that's very comforting. So, what a brilliant mind. And, Brock really looks up to him and respects what that guy's all about.
Who's his best friend on the team, you think?
Well, he's got his roommates, Nick Zakel and Alfredo. And,
yeah.
so those are the guys he hangs with. And I think he took Nick with him to the Golden State game and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, those are the guys that he hangs with the most.
Well, I mean, the way he's playing right now, he may not have roommates next season, Shawn. Maybe be looking for a house.
Yeah. Well, that's not his style. He's all about the guys and all that kind of stuff. So, he likes to just keep it the same. I'm sure that's probably who he'll room with again next year. So,
well, you bring up the Warriors game. He's sitting courtside. No, I'm not going to do that, Shask. I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to do that.
My buddy right here, he works on the television. Bonte does. He's being too humble like you are.
Show,
he does the pre- and post-game show. Tell Brock he needs to go up and get on TV with my guy and break bread with Chris Mullin, the Hall of Famer.
Yeah, break bread with them. You don't want to break bread with me. I'm nobody. But I am fascinated that all of a sudden he's sitting courtside next to the owner of the Golden State Warriors. What did Brock say about that experience?
Move.
Oh, man, that whole thing was surreal for him because, he's looking at those guys like, wow, that's Steph and all the players, some of the guys that he met, and he was just like a little kid in a candy shop, and just to be able to watch, basketball up that close, and he's like, man, that's a whole different perspective. But boy, he sure was excited after telling us the stories of the whole thing when that was over. So that was really cool for him.
Shawn, the only thing missing was a Deebo Samuel-sized chain, and he should have been wearing courtside.
That'll never happen.
Hey, Shawn, I've been watching all these plays this year, and it's so hard to pick some of your favorite ones. But, like, the slide up in Seattle was epic. I mean, it's one of those moments Niner fans are never going to forget. He's playing Tom Brady for crying out loud in his first home start. Absolutely unbelievable. Against the Dolphins, he comes in. What's that throw with Kittle just over the weekend in Las Vegas on 3rd down and goal? What's your favorite play thus far that you've seen where you go, God, I can't believe he made that play?
Oh, man. The most exciting, probably because it was his first score, that we were there in person, was when he made that run up the middle.
Oh, yeah.
2 yards.
I guess that was exciting. And then that throw to Christian in the corner, that was unbelievable. And then that play to George in Seattle, the fake to the left, fake to the right, and then throw it to George up the middle was pretty awesome. So, I mean, hey, man, we love them all,
Yeah.
So, any first down or any completion is exciting for us. So, it's exciting because he's got some amazing teammates, and that sure makes Dad feel good.
Man, he's playing some unbelievable football. I definitely didn't see it coming. I'll admit that, Shawn. Did not see it coming whatsoever, but I know you and the family are proud. Sounds like you're proud, and he sounds like he's a great kid, so we can get behind that.
Yeah,
as the
Niner fans
49ers
are
get
proud.
ready to host the Cardinals, and they'll have hopefully the number 2 seed, maybe the number 1 seed in the NFC playoffs, but no matter what, they're NFC West Division champs, and Brock Purdy's had a lot to do with that. Shawn, thanks so much for the time today. We really,
Thank you,
really
Shawn.
appreciate it.
Yes, sir. God bless you guys, and have a good day. Have a happy New Year.
You
Happy
too.
New Year, Shawn.
What a great
Absolutely.
guy.
Shawn Purdy
Wow.
here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game.